What's up, everybody? I'm gonna attempt to make a little video here, try to save y'all some money in the future. So we'll call this customer Bob. We'll say that this is Bob's car to protect the customer's identity. Customer comes to me and says, hey, my brakes are scraping, making harsh metal noises, really loud noises. Can you check my car, tell me what's going on? So after a full diagnosis, we realize it is the rear brake shoes that were bad. Let me just say, I hate doing rear brake shoes. You got all these springs everywhere. Got all these springs everywhere. You got the adjusters, you got the springs. It's an old system. It works really efficiently, but it's not fun to service. So this is a new hardware kit. Hardware kit meaning it comes with new springs. Everything was replaced on this except the rear brake cylinder, and that hydraulic fluid will push out and press the shoes apart against the drum. So anyways, here's what came off. These are the shoes that were riding around on the inside of this drum. You can see the thickness of the shoe here to the backing plate. That's how they look brand new. You got one trailing and one leading on both sides, right? One trailing shoe, one leading shoe. So you can see the thickness on those, and you can see here where they wore it all the way down to the metal. You see what Bob did on both of these, all the way down to the metal. What happens when you do that, guys, is you cut into the drum itself. So if you look under here, I don't know if the phone can get this or not, but this lip right here can easily fit my nail under. This thick, harsh lip should not be there. What happens is, long story short, that can't be resurfaced. If you get a digital micrometer and mic the inside of this, you can't do anything about fixing this because it's far beyond spec. So now you have no choice but to get a brand new drum. Rear drums on these are not cheap. Not cheap at all. Buy the hardware kit. You have to buy brake fluid to have the brakes bleeded. You got to buy brake cleaner to clean everything up. You can see how everything just came out in crumbs. Hardware all broken up. The drum, when the hardware comes loose, the drum would not even separate from the rear axle. It took me a nice while just to try to get that drum off. I had to get pry bars, reach in there, finagle with it, get the springs to come undone because it was pinned on there. Not fun. Anyways, it wasn't as bad on the other side. Got everything installed new here on this side, as you can see. Also new hardware kit, new shoes, and you can see this side was not far from being equal to the other side, all the way down to the metal. This other shoe was wore down pretty thin, but not down to the metal like here. And if you can see right there, it scored up the lower part of the inner drum, but not the upper part. That's from where this was making contact on the inside, and then this was fine. If you get to them before it gets down to the metal like that, and you don't eat up your rear drums, then you can resurface those drums, just put shoes on it, and be back on the road and not have to buy the hardware kit, the drums, and everything else. So it gets really expensive. The shoes were like 25 bucks. And getting them resurfaced is like 15 bucks a piece if you even need to resurface them. A lot of times you can get away with not resurfacing them. So it could have been $25 in parts instead of almost $200 in parts. Yeah, those things are pretty pricey. They're like $70 a pop, those rear drums. So the key moral of the story here is preventative maintenance is the only kind of maintenance that doesn't completely rub you blind. People think I'm broke, I can't afford it, I'll deal with it later, I have more pressing issues to deal with in my finance department. And they'll let it go. And what happens is, yeah, you're going to deal with it later, all right. You're going to deal with it for 2-3 times more than what you should have paid originally. Labor-wise, what a mechanic charges to remove this when it's locked up like that and he has to go through all that trouble, he's going to charge you more for it too than if it was a simple pull the drum off, install shoes, and get it back out. And so labor-wise, there's an inflation, and parts-wise, there's a massive inflation. So it's really unnecessary. Moral of this video is don't be cheap. Don't wear things down to the metal, to the breaking point. Take care of preventative maintenance. Have your brakes inspected, adjusted, and cleaned. In the back, you have an adjuster. You have an adjuster here. And you have them adjusted. It brings them out, makes the emergency brake nice and tight. And have them cleaned off, sprayed down, get all the dust out from inside of the drum. Every so often, you have them sprayed off, cleaned, and adjusted. You keep an eye on it, and before it gets like that, it doesn't become so costly to get you back on the road. Anyways, don't want to make this longer than it needs to be. Just wanted to enlighten y'all. It's a little too late for our customer Bob here. He's going to be broke for the next 2 weeks, struggling to recover financially from what he had to spend on this. I feel bad for him, but some lessons have to be learned the hard way. We got him reliably back on the road, and even though he spent a lot more than what he would have if he did the preventative maintenance, I'm sure he'll be glad to be back on the road. Thanks for watching, y'all. God bless. Make it a good one. Bye-bye.